Good evening. So, today we are here to explore an important and meaningful topic, love languages and emotional needs. So, every child expresses and receives love in different ways, and understanding these differences helps us build stronger connections. When we recognize a child's emotional needs and respond through their love language, we create a supportive, safe, and nurturing environment where they feel valued, understood, and confident to grow. This session will help us reflect on how small intentional actions can make a big difference in emotional well-being and relationship. It's my pleasure to welcome and introduce our speaker, Dr. Ali, for today's webinar, a Montessorian, an engineering graduate of Institute of Science and IIT Bombay, MIE, MIIM, with a PhD in behavioral sciences. He has always carved out of his own path and been a freelancer, ensuring that work is joy every day. He is the founder and chairman of Banjara Academy and leads a large team of counselors. Handing over you to sir.
Thank you very much, Kartika.
Thank you.
Yes, I agree that this is a really wonderful topic. Whoever thought of this topic, my hearty congratulations to you. I think we must start off with understanding a couple of very basic things. Other than the physical needs of a child, what are the other needs of a child? What is it that any growing child needs? Whether the child has special needs or whether the child is intellectually disabled or whether the child is super intelligent, it doesn't matter. There are a couple of things which are absolutely essential. And that is what is there highlighted in today's topic. The first one is love, which most of us understand. We do understand that children need love, and as far as possible, we do give that love. Only thing is, in what way we give and what way they receive, the language of love is what we are going to discuss today. The second aspect is not that well understood. People do not understand that the child also needs emotional security. We all, as concerned adults, parents, teachers, counselors, whatever we are, we always focus on the physical security of a child. Parents focus on, let's say, financial security, because as my child grows up financially, he should be secure, he should get everything. So various other aspects of the security needs of a child we look into. But quite often we miss out on the emotional security point. And that is what we are going to discuss today. That is, what are the love languages which actually ensure that the child feels loved? And what is this thing called emotional security, which every child needs? And therefore, a good, healthy balance of these two things ensure that whatever may be the ability or limitations of a child, the child grows up with good self esteem. The child grows up thinking that I am somebody who is capable, who has some worth in this life, who has a meaning and purpose in life, and I would like to live life to the best of my ability. That is what we are going to be discussing today. And of course, like I said last time also, any questions, any doubts, any agreements, disagreements are most welcome, because in human behavior, there are no rules and regulations. There are only guidelines. There are only experiences. So my experiences may be different from yours. It's not that whatever I am saying is the ultimate and it has to be taken as the gospel truth. There are so many areas where if your experiences or your opinions are different, please voice them. Let the whole group have that pleasure of looking at different perspectives, right? Okay, let us start with this very, very interesting thing called love. According to one of my most revered authors, Scott Peck, who wrote this really wonderful book called The Road Less Traveled. And subsequently, also, he wrote a lot of books, and I hold him in very high esteem. He's no more, of course, but he is somebody who has explained to us human emotions and human relationships in a manner that very few people have been able to express. In this book, he starts off by saying, love is too deep, too complicated, too multifaceted to be confined into a definition. And that is the reason why you will find there are so many different, what do you say, manifestations of love. Take a ridiculous thing. Here is this boy who claims that I love this girl immensely. I'm madly in love with this girl. I'll do anything to make her my girlfriend and my wife or whatever it is. She says no. And this man goes and throws acid on her face. He claims that he loves her immensely and he is destroying her life. So, what is his definition of love? That is one extreme. Similarly, we have parents, we have adults who claim that I love my child so much that I will do anything for my child. Now, if you are protecting your child so much that you are making the child incompetent, in the name of love, you are making the child dependent on you. You're not increasing the abilities, the autonomy, the capabilities of the child, including not just physical capabilities, but take a simple thing like decision making. Are you teaching your child how to take decisions? I constantly keep reminding, parents who love their children very much. A simple thing like if the child, you are going to take the child out and you have to change his clothes, you have to give him fresh clothes. You already washed and ironed and kept two, three, four shirts ready. What a parent does sometimes is pulls out a shirt and says, wear this. Instead of that, if the parent can take 1 minute extra to tell the child, see, there are four shirts. Here is this green one, here is this dark blue one, or the light blue one, and here is this one with red and white stripes. All four have been washed and ironed. Which one would you like to wear? In such a small thing, we are teaching the child how to take decisions and how to be autonomous. And it doesn't stop with that. Supposing the child says, I want that dark blue one, fine, give to him. Then later on, when you come back home or whatever it is, ask the child, there were four shirts of different colors. You chose the dark blue one. Why did you choose it? If the child can tell you, it is because, the sky is blue and I love the sky. And that is why I love this color. Now, see, he is exploring, he is using his mind. On the other hand, if the child says, Aditya is always wearing blue, that's why I also want to wear blue. Red flag. Why do you want to wear blue just because Aditya is wearing it? You should have a mind of your own. Then you can gently explain. Okay. This is just one example I'm giving you. But before we even go deeper, as I said, love is a very, very complicated thing, very misunderstood, misquoted, and misused. So let's start with something very, very fundamental. Love is one of those few things, a few words, I could say, in English, which is both a verb and a noun. The noun, love, is the emotion. I love my spouse. I love my child. I love these beautiful flowers. I love eating ice cream. This is an emotion. Even here we misuse it, but it's okay. I'll accept it for the time being that this is my emotion. This is what I love. Okay. Now, the second part is the verb. Verb is an action. So, how do I put that love into action? And that is where this concept of love language comes in. What is the language that I use to convey my love? Again, a very, very simple but painful example. I come across children sometimes who say, my daddy loves me only if I get 90% marks. My mummy loves me only if I eat all the food on time. Is that true? Do you think there will be a daddy who will not love his child because he's not getting good marks? No. But that is what the child believes. Why? Because the love that you have, the noun, the emotion of love, has not been conveyed in the proper manner to the child. The language that you used, the verb, the action of your love somehow conveyed the wrong message. It is like if I don't speak a particular language, and if I am talking in that language, the other person will either not understand or will misunderstand, right? So if I go to Kolkata and if I speak in Kannada, nobody will understand me. I will have to speak in Bengali. If I go to Maharashtra and I start speaking in English, the rural people may not understand. I may have to speak there in Marathi. So we have to speak a language which the other person understands, isn't it? So now, if you were to, tell the child that I genuinely and unconditionally love you. But what you actually do is when the child scores very well or eats his food on time or whatever your expectation the child fulfills, you go on praising the child. You go on appreciating the child. You tell other people who come, see, my child has done this very well. See, my child has, learned this new skill. See, that child has got so many marks, whatever it is. And then next time the child does not perform, you put on a glum face. You start getting irritated with the child. You don't want to spend time with the child. Now, the language, your body language, your expressions, your demeanor is making it clear to the child that I will love you only if you come up to my expectations and perform the way I want you to. We don't even realize it. But that is the message that is reaching the child. So, can we understand that loving somebody is not the same as the love reaching that person? So, you have to use the right language. And when I say language, I'm not restricting it to words. You all are aware that non-verbal language conveys much more than verbal language. They say 55% of communication intake is visual, 38% is the tone in which I conveyed, and 7% is the text. So if I were to meet one of you and, looking away somewhere with a frown on my face, say, yes, you're doing good work. I know you're doing good work. Very good. Keep it up. What are the words? I know that you are doing good work. Keep it up. But what is the message that reaches the person? This person is making a sarcastic remark. This person is not interested in me. This person does not appreciate what I'm doing. You're convinced about it. And the interesting thing is, children pick up visual language much better than us. You know why? Because children have not learned to be hypocrites like we adults. If we go to a party and here is this hoity toity lady who comes and says, See, I bought this new dress, it's very expensive. What do you think about it? And you automatically say, oh, how nice. What a lovely dress you are wearing. We've learned to become hypocrites. It's become part of our life. But if a small child goes to another friend and says, how do you like my dress? The other one will say, no, it doesn't suit you. I don't like it. Take it or leave it. I'm being truthful with you. So, children who have not yet learned this funny life skill of being hypocrites actually learn and take intake more from the non-verbal language. A mother is telling the child, pick up your toys. There's disturbing the place, they are all over the place. Remove the toys from here. Child looks carefully at the mother and says, yes, ma, and continues playing. After 2 minutes, she comes back and says, I told you to remove your toys. Why have you not? Oh, yes, ma, I'm removing it. Gives one more look to the mother and continues. Third time, the mother comes and says, if you don't pick up the toys, now I can watch the expression. Yes, ma, immediately I'm removing my toys. The words were the same, but it is the non-verbal expression. And that is what I mean by love language. That how are you conveying this? There's another very, very important factor which we somehow tend to neglect. The whole world praises, appreciates, acknowledges results, be it in the education line, be it anywhere. What is the result? If a child says, I studied, how many marks did you get? If I got good marks, everybody praises you. If you didn't get good marks, what stupid fellow, what are you saying you studied? Look at your marks. Everywhere, anything, the world appreciates, acknowledges, and rewards only results. My request to all of you is please start appreciating and praising efforts. That is where you are conveying your unconditional love to the child. That is where the love is reaching in the correct format. Take a simple example. A child who is not good in mathematics. The child struggles. Somehow he learns addition, then he learns subtraction, then he learns multiplication, and he has come to long division. Now, that is where the acrobatics with numbers start. There are some children who are good in mathological intelligence, mathematics and logic. They pick it up and then they start doing those sums. There are some who do not have that capability. Their mathological intelligence is not very well developed. So, what happens? This child is making an effort. The child genuinely wants to do it. The parent or the teacher has said, come on, you must learn, you must do it. And the child wants to. Supposing there are 5 steps in that long division, the child does 3 steps correctly, makes a mistake in the 4th step, and the answer is wrong. What happens? Not only is it rejected, but he is also scolded. I had explained everything to you and you still can't do it. Stupid fellow. Okay, I'll give you another chance. Try once more. Now this child is very much interested. The child wants to prove, the child wants to gain the acknowledgement and appreciation of the adult. So child puts in a lot of effort. This time, instead of 3 steps, he gets 4 steps correct. And the 5th step, he makes a mistake. The answer is wrong. What happens? He gets scolded even more. I gave you a second chance and you couldn't do it. How stupid can you be? Can we learn to examine and tell the child In the first attempt, you got 3 steps correct. In the second attempt, you got 4 steps correct. That means you have improved by 25%. Within minutes, you have improved by 25%. You know what? It shows that you have the capability. Maybe you need a little more practice. Maybe you need a little more concentration. It's okay. Take a break. Tomorrow we'll do this again and see how well you can do. See how the child blossoms out. Why? Because the child was getting the feeling that this parent, this teacher, whoever the adult is, actually loves me, wants me to progress. What is the basic, idea or the concept of love? If you claim that you love somebody, you want that person to progress. You want that person to do well in life. You want to nurture that person, isn't it? Whoever you love. Your idea is that when I love X, I want to see the success, the joy, the happiness, the fulfillment of X. That is my aim because I love X. So that message, is it reaching a child who's being scolded? No, it doesn't. Let's see what Kanaka has to say about it. Yes, Kanaka.
So this was a very recent example when we were having our NIS exams. The 10th standard students were getting so frustrated. Ma'am, you're always scolding. You're always scolding. They were not able to understand why we were scolding. And for us also, like, are they not able to understand that they're not doing well? So next time, like, no, this is not working. Maybe we need to rework it to understand why, they're also getting irritated. So next time when they gave them test, they didn't do well, so we did not scold them. They were quite amused. Why, ma'am, you're not scolding us? I told, maybe I think we will have to discuss it out. For today, you just go home. Maybe after 2 days, we'll discuss it about it. So when they come after 2 days, they were like, ma'am, I did not actually understand. Before I could ask anything, they came up and told that, ma'am, we didn't understand. We want more explanations. Okay, what were the things that you do not understand? Ma'am, I'm very scared to tell you about it. I was quite calm. The other teachers were just listening. Ma'am, can you please break this into smaller steps so that we'll be able to remember? So it's also about managing our own emotions with the children's emotions that actually helped. And also, when children are usually expecting that this is certain way that parents would or the elders would react. So if we can be more aware about our emotions and then help them to regulate the emotions can be help. With that, there is one more example. So when we are in the school, at times there is phone ringing at times. So for some time, like, no, this is something important, so we have to pick up the call. The child is okay. Now I'm getting few minutes to just get diverted, and they would talk with another child. But after a certain time, we thought that if we can, we feel that this our work is so important and we are neglecting the one who is in front of us, they'll feel like, okay, why is somebody will give me importance? So then we decided during this, when I am with the child, I will not make sure, will not pick up the call, and we kept it away. Though the child was quite disappointed that they will not get to talk with each other, but they were quite happy that the teacher is completely to me, as we are dealing with one-on-one, and they were more reactive and they were more responsive to anything we ask, and that time our communication became much better comparatively. Thank you.
Yes. In the legal parlance, advocates and the legal experts, they have a proverb. They say, it is not enough that justice has been done. It should appear that justice has been done. A judgment comes in which one person is given 60% of the property and the other person is given 40%. Does the person who receives 60%, is he always happier? No. If he feels that I should have received 70%, but I got only 60, he's not happy. But if he feels that this could have been divided into 50 and 50, but the judgment gave me 60 instead of 50, then only he can be happy, right? So that is why they say that it is not enough that justice has been done. It should also appear that justice has been done. I extend that to love. You are loving this person, you are conveying your love to this person, but does the person feel that you are loving that person? If you are forcing this child that you have to eat these vegetables, why are you doing it? Because you love the child? Because you want the child to be healthy and you want the child to grow up well? So you become firm. You say, no, you have to finish your vegetables whether you like it or not. That is what we call as forced compliance. If the child is small, the child looks at the mother, one towering figure who's saying, you eat all your vegetables, otherwise, you see what I will do to you. He gets scared and he eats. And we are happy, we have achieved something. Number one, the message that has reached the child is, you love me only if I eat all the vegetables. You don't love me because of what, what I am. You love me because of who I am. What are my characteristics? How obedient I am? What is my performance? Only then you love me. And you know the outcome of that. We are all aware of it. One fine day, the mother is forcing something to the child and saying, come on, you do this, otherwise you see what I'll do to you. By the time this fellow is grown up and he's one hulk of a fellow, he realizes that I'm not looking up at mother like this, I'm looking down at mother like this. He's grown taller than mother. And he says, if I don't listen to you, what will you do? And the mother looks like this at her son and says, what can I do to this fellow? And then we complain. See how he has become. See the way he is back answering. See the way he has become rebellious. Look at his behavior. He used to be so nice, and this is what has happened. Why is it happened? It is because of friends. It is because of media. It is because of school. We blame everybody except ourselves. But actually, that is what we have done. Somewhere or the other, if so, what do? You do want your child to eat vegetables, right? It is your love for the child, your genuine concern for the child, because of which you want the child to eat. But have we taken the trouble to convey? And that is what again comes back to love language. Am I conveying to the child, I know that you don't like these vegetables. I know that that taste is not very great for you. Given a chance, you would not eat that vegetable. But you know what? I have learned the hard way in life after so many years that these are the vegetables which make you grow up healthier and which are essential for good, healthy living. And that is why, though I may be sounding very strict and though I may be sounding very curt to you, I have to be firm. I love you so much that I want you to grow up into a healthy adult. And that is why I'm doing this, which is looking to you as though I am being strict with you. I'm putting you down. I'm forcing you to do something. And this brings me to the next most important thing. I had mentioned this in the last session, but I want it to be drilled into us. When you say language, what are we talking about? We're talking about communication, right? Language is used for communication. And according to me, communication with any child should be spelled Listen. You will be amazed at how many of us adults only talk to the children. If you can put a webcam and monitor from morning to evening how much you spoke and how much you listened to the child, you'll get a shock. Without even realizing, we cut short a child when he is speaking. We contradict the child. We come out with statements like, "You don't know. I know. I'm telling you what is good for you. You have to listen to me." Now, that is conveying to the child that since I am in authority, I don't care what happens to you, but you have to follow my rules and regulations. Nobody likes that, isn't it? But that is what we need to explain. Sometimes, if there are children, who have this habit of questioning everything, particularly as they come to adolescence, they start questioning. They say that adolescents generally have a one word question on their lips. Why? Yake? Anything that you say, why? Eat this vegetable, why? Do your homework, why? Don't watch TV, why? And the sad part is, we don't have the patience to explain that why. So, what do we resort to? Because I am telling you that's why. Does it sound logical? If you are working in an organization and you have a boss, and that boss is giving you some instruction which you feel is not really the thing that should be done. So you're asking your boss, why? And the boss is saying, because I am telling you, that's why. You feel like resigning that day and going away. Unfortunately, your child cannot resign. The child cannot tell a parent. I have been observing that neighbor couple, they are much better parents. I think I will resign and take a transfer and go to that family. I wish such a provision was there, but it's not. So they are stuck with us till they grow up. And more so if it's a child with special needs, he may continue to be dependent on us even as an adult. So think of that also. See, children who are what we refer to as neurotypical, they have big dreams. They say, I'm going to give that JEE and I'm going to go to IIT. I will go to America and study in Harvard and Stanford. I will do an MBA. I will do this and that. Whether he does it or not is not important. But he has these dreams. And he thinks in terms of this. I will become a doctor and find a cure for cancer. I will do this. I will do that. And that is what keeps the child moving, inspired, motivated. Even if somebody scolds him now and then, even if he does something bad, even if he gets low marks in something or whatever it is, he still has this thing that I am moving towards. Today, I may not be all that great, but tomorrow I'm going to be great as I grow. If it is a neurodiverse child, whether anybody tells or not, the child can sense it. Like I said, it is the non-verbal communication which is important. If this child is in a building or a community and the child says, I want to play, and the other children just turn away and say, no, 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 we'll later, you move. They have not said that you are incompetent, but the message has reached that they don't consider me capable of playing with them. Everywhere, that is what happens. So these are children who need unconditional love more than the others. That is one thing that they need. And the second thing, as I was telling you, is emotional security. Do I have that feeling that at the emotional level, I am taken care of? Starting with the simple thing, like I said, no, even if I don't perform, 10 times something has been explained to me that you write this A, B, C, D, I'm not able to do it. I'm somehow not picking that up. I was asked to do this 2 plus 2 is equal to 4 or whatever it is. I'm not getting the hang of it. I'm just not able to do it. But because of that, am I a lesser human being? Am I incompetent? Am I a failure? Will I not be able to achieve anything great in my life? These are the signals that are reaching this child. And emotionally, he starts becoming insecure. And anybody who is emotionally insecure, what do? They become defensive. You know, there is a proverb, cat against the wall. Normally, a cat is a very docile animal. The cat will be hanging around somewhere. Either if it loves you, it will come close to you, or it will ignore you. But you do not have cats who attack human beings. Nowadays, there's so much controversy going on about dogs. Nobody is talking about cats. No Supreme Court is saying that cats should be locked up or something because they know that cats don't bite, cats don't hurt human beings. But a cat against the wall, as they say, you are chasing a cat and the cat is trying to run away. And the cat suddenly realizes that I am caught in a corner. There is nowhere to go. Just see how that cat turns around and becomes a little lion. The cat will bare its nails and its teeth and will try to jump at you, bite you, scratch you. Because the cat realizes that I have no escape. I wanted to escape. I didn't want to get into conflict with this human being. But because I am against a wall, I am again in a corner from where there is no escape. The only way to go about is to attack. Something very similar goes in the mind of a child who feels that I am cornered. I am not going to get what I want. I am being pushed into a corner. Other people are moving ahead. I am being left behind. I am not able to compete with others. I had read a very nice little incident, a real life incident. There was this boy who could hardly speak. His speech was very poor. Whenever he tried to speak, also, he would stutter and he would hardly make any sense to anybody. Okay. One fine day, the school decided that they are going to put up a play, a skit, a drama, whatever it is. And this child told the parents, I also want to have a role in that. I'm going to tell teacher. Parents felt very bad. Obviously, he will not get a role. What to do? They were wondering. They kept quiet. When he came back that day, they were expecting that he'll come crying. The teacher said, no, you can't take part in this play. But you know what? He came and told his parents, I got a very important role in the play. They were surprised. They said, what is it? He said, teacher said, all your friends, the other students will be busy in their acting. What you do is you sit in the first row and start clapping. Whenever they do something nice, clap. And when you clap, everybody else will clap. And they will feel motivated that, yes, audience is appreciating us. I've got a very important role. Very simple thing. But this is how you can convey even to a child, who is totally incompetent. The child just cannot speak. What role can you give to that child? But his hands work, he can clap. If we are a little innovative, we can always come out with something or the other. What do you feel, Kanaka?
I think this is something there in my mind. Uh, it is, we always want the children to be engaging and learning. But at times, I feel that we also be very engaging with having challenging activities to get doing with children can help us to give them a lot of comfort with emotionally because we are regulating our emotions and also there is a space that gets created where they can communicate. So if we can do some activities together, That is the way they feel that we understand, because we want our children either to win and keep going. But how it is when they are dealing with, as adults, are caregivers. So in that way, when we spend that quality time doing some activities together, it helps us a lot to think. And one more thing is, there is a beautiful Tamil movie, Pasangal 2, where, they talk about two kids. They are very notorious. Then what happens when there is a child counselor who comes and then tries to understand the whole house scenario and how he empowers them. And then when they are at the end, they are actually has to perform the stage performance. They give the performance and he tells them that let's just get out. The children like, now there is going to be an announcement going to happen. Why? So then the father and the parents step up and they tell, you performing on stage itself was big for us. Well, the price doesn't matter, because from what last time you were doubting yourself whether I can perform, and now you have performed. I think this is the best reward you have got and you have given to us. Just move out. That was a very beautiful ending, and how parents can create the small celebrations with children.
Talking about this two children reminded me of a real life incident. I had a neighbor who had two daughters, age difference of a couple of years. The elder daughter was a bookworm. She already had thick spectacles and her nose would always be stuck in books. And she used to be performing very well. The younger daughter, once in a while, used to remember that there is something called studies or tests or whatever it is. She used to be thoroughly enjoying life. I didn't know them that well. I don't know. Maybe the child had learning difficulty, whatever it is. But the fact was that this child was just not performing academically. And you can make a guess which was the subject in which she was the poorest. Mathematics. Okay. One day I was going for a walk, and this child saw me from the window and called out to me, Uncle, uncle, wait 1 minute. And she came running out. And she said, Uncle, I got my math test result. I was getting ready to give her my condolence. So I asked her, how many marks you got? She said 6. I said, 6 out of 20. 6 marks out of 20. What is the passing mark? She said 8. I said, 8 is the passing mark. You got 6. And why are you grinning and jumping up and down and coming and announcing it to me? No, uncle. Last time I got 4. No. This time I got 6. Maybe next time I'll get 8 also. The actual words. They moved away. I've lost touch with them. But you know what I think? The younger daughter will actually take care of the elder daughter, who is a bookworm and who has not learned enough about life skills. And that is what we want each one of our children to achieve. To have that self-esteem, to find their own hidden talents, to come out with something and have that emotional security. That is something which is very, very important. And that comes out of, starts with, as I told you in the beginning, and I'm repeating again, it starts with the love language. In what form is our love being conveyed to anyone? In fact, why talk about children? This happens between spouses also. There will be a couple who love each other, but they are perpetually fighting. Why? Because they have learned love, they have not learned love language. They know the noun called love, they do not know the verb called love. A husband comes back very late, it's almost dinner time, and he says, I'm so tired, I had this horrible day and my boss was shouting at me and that. Get me a good cup of coffee. And the wife says, it's already dinner time. If you have coffee now, your appetite will go. You'll unnecessarily be spoiling. And I've already made dinner. I'll just make hot chapatis. Wait for 10 minutes. I'll give you a nice dinner. I don't want dinner. I want coffee. Why do you want coffee? Why are you doing this? What is this? You can't make one cup of coffee. I spent the whole day working for you people doing all this. And in my own house, I can't get one cup of coffee. And he walks out. See, a fight has taken place. And what is the issue? The issue is the wife loves the husband, but she's not able to convey to the husband. Why is she denying him coffee? Not because she's lazy, not because she wants to save the coffee powder or whatever it is. It is because she loves him. So, starting from adults, going down to children, going down to anything, there is this concept of how the love is being conveyed. Is it reaching the other person or not? And that I think is very important. One of the factors in that, I repeat again, is listen. Please listen. Whoever it may be, anybody whom you care for, anybody whom you like. We have a young man working here in our office who is mostly Down syndrome. But till he was 20 plus, when he first came to us, no diagnosis has been done. Nobody has any idea what his special needs are or what his disability is. One of the factors is communication. He can very barely speak. He can just somehow convey a few things that he wants, but he does his work. We ask him to clean the tables. We ask him to take the cups of tea or whatever it is. Small things he does nicely, and we pay him whatever little bit we can. But the point is, me and all my colleagues in Banjara Academy, the moment he talks, we turn to him and we say, "Oh, is it? Okay, fine. That's it." May not be anything significant, but he feels that people care for me. People listen to me. Earlier, he used to be a little rebellious. He used to be a little stubborn. When he started talking and we started listening to him without understanding anything, his whole demeanor has changed. This is just one example. It just happens to be here, so that's why we have said it. Isn't it, Kanaka? There's so many such
examples I can think of. One example is with my spouse. So recently he bought me pan. I was like, "How come you remember? All of a suddenly you are in a nice mood today. Why something happened in office?" I'm on and on asking questions rather than taking that a minute to appreciate that he could remember that this is something that I really love, and he got it. So I was like, "Oh, that I think you want something tomorrow. That is why you got this for me, right? Maybe is it something that you don't want to eat dinner?" My thoughts were on and on and on, but rather than telling him that with whatever intention is got, like, thank you, at least you've got, you remember and you got pan for me, and I could have just been pause. And later I realized this, and then so next time when he did like, "Now don't give me questions. I'm not going to ask you anything." He just gave me pan and he handed over. He just went away. So, at times really appreciating also, the genuineness is can be understood. But with that genuineness, there is genuine effort that has to be done. So that way, I think our relationships also can get better. Listening. Actually, rather when he wanted to give me something, I never listened to him. I just blurted out my thoughts. If I'd given that pause, just listen to him, what he wanted to convey to me while giving, it could have really helped.
Yeah, in fact, I think you're all aware of it, but I still want to remind you that children listen best when adults are talking to each other, not to them. Their antenna goes up. Mommy is talking to daddy, teacher is talking to some other teacher, somebody else is talking to somebody. Whenever adults are talking between themselves, children listen. Children become curious. And like Kanaka said, if they see them harmonious, If they see that they are listening to each other, it becomes such a good lesson to them to do whatever they want to, what we want to convey. Instead of telling them, enact it, be a role model. And that conveys tremendous things. We are coming to the end of the hour. I don't see anything on the chat box. So, is there anyone who would like to suggest? Yes, Satyapriya has put up. Sir, guide through your experience. Are there any specific ways of bonding with an adolescent which are proven successful since they are not that communicative and close to parents? No. My simple answer is no. There are no proven successful things because every human being is different. God does not produce junk. God produces children or human beings in diversity. And that's the beauty of life. So you have this adolescent. Instead of looking for proven ways of how to bond with that adolescent, look at his needs. Look at what he appreciates. Try out different things. Do this thing and see how it makes a difference. One day, instead of talking to your spouse, you talk to your adolescent and tell your spouse, wait, I need time with him and I need to do something. Another day, he is saying something which is irritating you. Instead of shouting, if you can tell him that I am getting irritated. So I think it's better that I don't answer right now, okay? I'll do it later because I don't want to shout at you. There are so many ways in which, if you keep observing your child and making a mental note or even a written note, this he liked, this he didn't like. This improved our bond, this created some sort of friction between us. Kartika says, what strategies can help teachers connect emotionally with children who are withdrawn or aggressive? The same as what I've been telling. First, start off with giving them importance. When you meet the child, make eye contact. Spend a few seconds acknowledging. Maybe give a small positive stroke. Nice to see you smiling. Or so nice that you are always punctual. You are here even before I came here. So it's so good to see that you are already occupying your place and you've settled down. Whatever you can, non-academic. And then listen to the child. Even children, who are withdrawn or who are aggressive, they don't like to talk. Encourage them to talk. And if they are not willing to talk any incidents or any likes and dislikes, ask them about emotions. Are you feeling withdrawn today? Are you feeling bored? Are you losing interest in what activity we are doing now? Talk to them about emotions and see how slowly they open out. It takes time, it takes effort, but you can succeed in it. Okay, Priti says, any signs that shows my child is not emotionally fulfilled? Yes. What Kartik also said, no? Withdrawn, aggressive. Children start going either direction. You cannot predict. Instead of being in the mean, in the average, sometimes laughing, sometimes crying, sometimes this and that. If you find a child going in either direction, either getting more and more withdrawn or getting more and more aggressive, that is the first, sign that this child is unhappy. And the moment you see that prevention is better than cure, I sense you are unhappy with something. It looks to me that you are a little irritated. Are you angry with anything that I said or did just now? The more you ask questions regarding their emotions, the more you will get to learn about them. Okay, Nisha says, how can we maintain appropriate boundaries while effectively expressing love languages and supporting students' emotional needs, particularly the situations where students may become over friendly or conversely hesitant to share? List out whatever is unwanted behavior of a child. Divide them into those which are unacceptable and those which are not likable. First, take the second category. The child is doing something, is going on tapping with a pencil or something like that. It's not a major offense, but it is disturbing a little bit. Tell the child, I'm getting disturbed with it. Do you enjoy tapping this? Can you do it after the class? Show me also how to tap. I also would like to do. But right now, can we stop it for some time? He doesn't stop. Let it be, as long as others are not getting affected. On the other hand, if there is a child who is hitting somebody or doing something which is, you know, very clear that this is not acceptable, that is where you put your foot down. So if you are allowing certain things and not allowing certain things, the child learns the difference. Wherever you are consistent in saying this is not permitted, hitting somebody is not, by school, even at home. If you have two children at home, tell them, you fight, you have your own conflicts or whatever it is. I don't want to see physical damage to anybody. And I don't want derogatory words. Other than that, you can fight as much as you want. I'm not going to interfere. I'm not going to take sides because I love both of you. More or less the same thing a teacher can also convey to them. Okay, Uma says, this kid is my neighbor. She speaks well with me at home. The same kid at school hardly speaks a word with me, though I'm her teacher. Why so? I am mindful that she has no fear of school. Fine. Now, when she is at home and she speaks well with you, try out something like, tomorrow when we are in school, can you tell me about that that garden or that this thing or this activity or something? I want to know. I want you to see that and tell me. Encourage her to give you some specific communication inputs in the school and observe. Is she becoming self-conscious that others are watching? In which case, take her aside, one to one when nobody is watching, then ask the same question. If so, then there's something that the child is becoming, self-conscious. There are children who have, for example, been, made fun of. Maybe her speech is not clear or her language is not good or something. And some one or two children would have teased, hey, you don't even know how to talk this, you are like this, you are like that. So the child has become self-conscious and doesn't want to speak at all in the school. It takes a little bit of time, effort, and patience, but you will be able to find out when the child is capable of talking, wants to talk to you, connects very well with you, what is it that is preventing her from talking to you in school? So with that, I think we are coming to the end of the hour, and there are no more chats on the chat box. So would you like to sum up?
Audience, do you have any questions? No more questions? You can feel free to even put it in the chat box. We can give you another minute. Right. So over to you, Kartika, to sum up the session.
Yes, ma'am. As we come to end of this session, we would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Ali for sharing his valuable insights and guidance on understanding love languages and emotional needs. So this session was truly enlightening and gave us meaningful perspectives to support children with greater empathy and care. We also sincerely thank all the parents and participants for joining us today and making this webinar interactive and enriching. Your presence and involvement made the session truly special. Once again, thank you, everyone.
Yeah, any one of you has anything personally at a one-to-one level, if you would like any inputs from me, please send me an email. You go to our website, banjaraacademy.org. There is a My Counselor button on it. You just press that and you mark it to me and say that I would like some inputs or some clarification. we do that. We do free counseling to everybody. There's no payment involved or anything. Please feel free. Any issues, anything which you feel that we can be of any use to you, please go ahead and let me know. Okay.
Sorry, sir. There's just
Yes.
last question in the chat box which
Sure.
is popped up by parent Jatin's parents. It says that,
Yes.
sir, as a parent of special child, one area we are finding difficulty is comprehension.
Comprehension.
But we spend time and push more with different approaches of teaching. He's able to get it. At times, we feel it's a pressure for him. Any inputs on this?
No, I would not like to give input, but because this is a question more in the realm of special education, which you people are experts in. I look only at the emotional, social, those aspects, not the academic aspects. So, how much pressure to put on the child? What is the methodology of teaching that child? So many factors. That is up to the special educator. Only she knows best what is correct for the child. So you should consult your own seniors and people who know well and who are experienced and qualified in this. Okay. Thank you and bye bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.